Inside each friend you make, journey in peace, journey in love, journey in hope, led from above. When you're away, when we're apart, you're on my mind.
Welcome. Wow, that was too loud, huh? Welcome. It's nice to see you guys here. Thank you for coming. And we just thought we needed to get together. And we needed to process some stuff and be here for people. And from what I hear, we may have people dropping in and out throughout the time, depending when they finish their meetings and their work schedules. So, we're here, we're gathered together, and we're going to take some time to process some of the things that have happened. And I want to welcome everybody here. I want to kind of explain a little bit about our, about our slide projector today. We were having a few challenges with the big one upstairs, so I brought out my backup projector and changed everything around. But as you can see, the image is kind of fuzzy and kind of far away. So do the best you can with it. And all of that says is welcome, we're hurting, we're grieving. We need some time to process some things, some time to gather together to say some prayers, to listen to some meditations, some poetry, sing some songs. We're going to light some candles. We're going to offer communion to those who want it at the end of the service. And we're just going to take some time to be together and to support each other tonight. And one of the first things I'd like to do is simply pray and ask a blessing on our gathering this evening. So if you would join me in the spirit of prayer. Creator God, Mother and Father of us all, we thank you for your love. We thank you for your healing spirit. We thank you for that longing and yearning that you give to each of us to care for each other. And we pray now that you will touch our spirits and help us through our grief and help us to hold each other up and to understand that our response is to not stop loving, but instead to show forth love in everything we do. In Jesus' name, amen. So we have some songs, and I'm hoping you know some of these words, because I don't think you're going to be able to see them very well. So our first song that we're going to sing, and I'm going to, Sandy's going to come and play guitar for us on this, is Blowing in the Wind. So do you guys know Blowing in the Wind? Some of you know? Yes, Virginia knows it, I know it. So anyway, come close if you need to. I'll try to help out a bit with the words. First verse, how many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times does the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer is blowing in the wind, the answer is blowing in the wind. And I'll try to holler a few cues out as we go. I think if I say a few words, you might remember them. Maybe. Some of you are too young, but I'm not. How many roads? How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist? How many years can a mountain exist before it's washed? Before it's washed to the sea. ears must he have? How many ears must one man have before he can hear? Before he can hear people cry. How many deaths will it take? How many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. When I was a long time ago in high school, that was already a little bit of an old song. When I was in high school, not when Sally was young, but when I was in high school, it's a little bit of an old song, but it was still a treasured song. I was going through high school as we were cleaning up the Vietnam War. And so this was one of those sort of anthems of that generation. And the questions about how many times will the cannons fly and how many deaths is it going to take before we learn. And obviously we're still learning, and we're still crying, and we're still grieving about all of that. But we have learned some things in the process. And I have a very good friend whose name is Carol Worthy. I know you probably can't see that on there. But this particular reading is one of Carol's poems that she just wrote. She just wrote it Sunday, after the events of Sunday night. Carol is a gifted poet, writer, artist, musician, composer, and I've known her for 10 or 15 years. Sandy's known her much longer than that. We've partnered together on some projects with women composers and women musicians in Southern California, and she's just an amazing lady. So this reading of hers is called Hate Will Not Conquer Hate. Carol Worthy. Hate will not conquer hate, nor blood sop up blood. We weep for some truth while we suffocate. We cling to our candles at vigils and hope that hopelessness won't shrink our power to cope. And some doubt the news, and others believe and lay flowers on pavements. It heals them to grieve. But whoever seeks to put truth in a sieve may wonder what someone has up their dark sleeve. For we learn far too late, try as we must, that fear traps us too in the quicksand of hate. There are no pat answers that season the quest. But love has a dignity. Love says it best. I'm going to ask Wayne to come up here. This is Wayne Howell, for some of you that don't know Wayne. And he's going to sing for us a very well-known old favorite of ours. And I always love the way that Wayne does this. This is How Great Thou Art, which speaks to me of the power of God and love throughout everything.
When I in awesome Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And when I think that God his Son not sparing sent him to die, I scarce can take it in, that on the cross my burden gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Another reading of Carol Worthy's Love Permeates the Universe. Love permeates the universe. If only each one of us would look past the walls that divide us, would reach out to touch it, feel its subtle strands, for it is string theory of the heart, tying us together in subtle, delicious ways like silk and velvet. Strands of love that do not entrap us, but bind us in responsibility for all living things, and thus free us, because only then, in giving love, can we know that we are good. Then we can forgive ourselves for all our ill actions earlier. If only we would feel and see and know it really is there all around us, then would we truly be unafraid to give it or receive it. Doubt is its enemy, and hate is its hardening. Invisible to the physical eye, love only becomes easily manifest to most of us when it proves itself by results, because we have become uncomfortable with the invisible, and we have forgotten how to trust our instincts. But how easily experienced is it when a longing and crushed heart feels the ember spark an unmistakable warmth inside, a sensation that feels the empty hole of loneliness we were born into and often die from. From out this hole, love makes us more whole. For it is more powerful in its pulse than any subatomic particle. It breaches the width of the galaxies in time portions faster than time, in smiles and memories and music that defy death itself. Love permeates the universe. It is the living lightning. It is the crux and crucible where science, art, and philosophy meet headlong and melt into the fire of compassion. Love permeates the universe. It is who we are. Carol Whitney. I woke up on Sunday morning. I had the service all planned. I had Sunday morning's church service all figured out. We were going to have some fun. We were talking about the earth. We were talking about a woman who ministered to Jesus when he was at the house of a tax collector and a Pharisee, very proper people who didn't even offer him water to wash off his feet. And the woman came and washed his feet with tears. I was going to talk all about hospitality. I was going to talk about stewardship of love and stewardship of God's creation. I had it all nailed down. And I woke up and I saw something about maybe 20 people having been killed and some others injured. And I was stunned, and I thought, how can I minister to people? How can I bring something from that? How can I help everybody deal with that? And I thought, that's okay. We're talking about love and caring for each other. We're talking, okay. Then I looked at the computer about 40 minutes later, and I saw the bigger numbers. 50 people were dead, including the shooter, and 53 injured. And I also saw something about even more had been shot, but I guess some had been just released or grazed or whatever. But I was horrified. And I read the things that said this was the largest mass shooting in the country. And then I saw some of my friends, the ones I leave on my friends list on Facebook, even though sometimes I get upset with them, who said, "Good riddance." And I was just stunned and in tears. And then I saw someone else say, "Oh, that wasn't the biggest killing. The biggest killing was when we did such and such to so-and-so." You know, and I chimed in and I said, well, yes, there was the Red Summer of 1919, and there were the Native Americans and the poor treatment of them. But what these people are talking about is the largest mass shooting, with one person and some guns and people and just mowing them down. And I got more and more depressed as the morning went on. And I thought, no, I can't do this. I've got to come to church. And I've got to be a positive leader. And I've got to do something to bring love and release to my people here. So I came, and we had our service, And we talked about the love and the gift of that woman to Jesus. And I thought about it, and we talked about caring for the earth and the things that we could do to try to help with climate change. And I thought about it some more as the day went by. And I thought, actually, going on with our stewardship and our love for each other and our care for each other and our communion with God and the Spirit is exactly one of the things that we should do in the face of this. Because fear and hate and hiding do not solve this kind of problem. Darkness cannot be fought with darkness. Now you probably can barely see me, right? As I turn those out. A little bit of light on my face, I know. That's okay, Wayne. The darkness cannot be fought with darkness. And hate cannot be fought with hate. Martin Luther King, Gandhi, great spiritual leaders and minds of our time have told us that the only thing that can fight darkness is light. And the only thing that can fight hate is love. This is Pride Month. This is that month all over the world, all over the country, where the community of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered people stand up and say, we have parades. We say, we are. Sometimes it's just that simple. We are. We love each other. I love Sandy. She knows that. Yeah, she loves me too. And we are not going to let a person who is so afraid and fearful and full of hate and full of fear of us and of that to stop us. Some of my straight friends have said, how come we don't have a straight parade? Straight pride. Why? Another friend said that very well when they said that, you haven't had to walk in fear of holding your spouse's hand on the sidewalk. You haven't had to hide in the darkness for fear of being shot or killed just because of who you love. You haven't had to lose a job because of who you love. You haven't had to not be allowed to rent an apartment because of who you love. You haven't had your home taken away from you because of who you love. The reason we have a pride parade, and there isn't one for regular life, straight, heterosexual people, is because they haven't had to do that. They haven't had to say, I want to hold my wife's hand. I want to hold my husband's hand. I want to dance with my lover. That's why. And whether it's as early as Stonewall or even earlier, when people began to stand up and say, you know what? I'm a man and I love a man. This is my life partner. I'm a woman and I love a woman. This is my life partner. I was born different. We stand up for that love because we have to. We know we are loved by God, but sometimes we have to be told that again. And I'm here to tell that to you tonight. No matter who you are, straight, gay, transgender, bi, black, white, fat, skinny, tall, short, disabled, able-bodied, God loves you. No matter who you are, no matter where you are in your journey of life, God loves you. How do we respond to this killer? By loving each other, by dancing again. How do we respond to fear? By standing up with pride and walking in a parade. I had one other thing that hit me while I was thinking about this, and that was an awful lot of people are grieving strongly. They are stunned. And then there are those, you may know some of these people, there are those who know that they're supposed to be grieving. They know they're supposed to be stunned and angry. But they can't. There's some kind of a wall there. Some of those people feel guilty because of that wall. They feel guilty because they can't cry, or because they're not moved to that passion and anger, and they don't understand why. And they see me sobbing at my computer when I'm trying to put together a photo show. And they're like, how come I'm not feeling that? How come? Well, I've begun to think that experiencing life through Facebook and video games and television and Google builds a wall. And sometimes it desensitizes us to those real feelings. So I encourage you to reach out. If you have someone that is important to you, but they don't seem to be feeling this, I just encourage you to go ahead and let them know how you feel. You can say, you know what? I've really been hurting, and I'm trying to reach out in love to my friends, but it's scary. All of those fears are real for us, and they're okay. And sometimes people aren't brave enough to let themselves feel that anger and that angst and those tears. Because once we let that floodgate open, we're not sure that we can cope again. I know I went through that like 20, 25 years ago. Had some stuff to deal with. I was a rock, boy. I was a rock. You couldn't make me cry. I wouldn't get angry. Just stoic, solid, dependable. But when the floodgates opened, boy, that was it. And I think that happens to us, to every one of us, and to some of our friends. So just know there's no shame in hurting a lot. There's no shame in being afraid to hurt. All of that is okay, because the only way for us all to deal with any of this is to let those floodgates open and to answer the hate with love, to take some positive steps. I'm just going to give you a couple of things. Tomorrow, maybe even tonight, say to your spouse, say to your friend, is there something I can do to make today better for you? Is there something I can do to make tonight better for you? Is there anything you need from me? Would you like to take a walk? Can I hug you? It's okay if you don't want me to hug you, but I could use a hug. Break a little tiny barrier. See what you can do to step forward in love and in caring and in nurturing for each other. People have asked me about, what do we do now? How do we deal with this as a society, as a government? I say we have to deal with it as people, as individuals, one at a time. And we have to determine our own values, and I hope that our own values, our own reasons for being, are that we can actually love each other and hold each other up and gather together. People have said to me, it's easy to play a video game and shoot all the bad guys down because there's a whole bunch of them and they're far away and they're not even real. But one-on-one to care for each other, that's a bigger challenge. If we get to know each other one-on-one, one person at a time, personally, it's a lot harder to hurt each other. So I kind of leave you with that to think about. Reach out one person at a time, one moment at a time, in caring and in nurturing and in love. And that's the only way that we can fight hate. Now we have a song. It's gotten darker. I think you can almost see the words. Okay. This is a song Sandy and I thought, oh, let's sing All You Need Is Love. That's a great song, an old Beatles song. That's an easy song, right? Then we started trying to do it together and went, wow, that's a really tricky song. So I'm going to try to help you through it. Whatever parts of it you know, sing out, sing loud with me. I'll try to keep carrying us through it. It's a little bit tricky, and there's some fancy words. You can see them down here. They're hard to get out. If you want to just wait and let me try to work my way through those, that's okay. And you can sing the part that goes, all you need is love. You know, you can do that part. You probably know that part, right? Everybody know that part? All you need is love? Yeah. All right. So we're going to give this a shot. What have we practiced this 2 times, Sandy? Anyway, we're going to give this a try. All you need is love. John Lennon, Paul McCartney. How could it get better than that? Here we go. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Here you go. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Hang on, Sandy. Hang on. Wait. There we go. There's nothing you can serve that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. Then we're back to all you need is love. 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 Love is all you need. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Here it comes. All you need is love. All you need is love. Here's the tricky one. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Now here's this third verse. There's nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nothing you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. Here it comes, all you can need. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. One more time. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Well, I heard some of you with that. I could have used some help on the your trumpet player. Okay. I have a video here, and the video includes pictures, all the ones I could find. I think I got them all. That took me most of the day to try to find their pictures. There were lots of sites with pictures, but they were all, none of them were complete. Anyway, I finally found, I think, everybody. And names. And they're not in the same order as on your sheet. Your sheet has them in order by last name. These are in order by first name, just to confuse you. But anyway, I'm just going to start the little video so that you can hear that. It's going to play Amazing Grace in the background, as long as I can actually get it started. thought there were some amazing faces and expressions in those pictures, and that I was really I was thinking about how many of those pictures must have been selfies. You know, when I was looking at them, about that, there's a lot of selfies here, and I'm sure glad they took them so that we could share this amazing variety of people who had gathered together to live life and dance together and celebrate and share each other. And I hope that we can share that part of them, that love for each other, and carry that on. And I know there are all kinds of websites and places where we can try to support the efforts to help the families and friends of those people. And there are all sorts of ways we can help each other. There's a song, and I've got words up here, but I think you know this song, and I'll just tell you the beginning of each verse and you'll know it from there. This is "We Shall Overcome." And it's become an anthem for civil rights, but I think it can be an anthem for love in the face of hate as well. And so we're going to sing this together. Sandy's going to play on her guitar. Are you going to play over there? You going to come up here? Maybe I'll turn my mic so it can pick you up. The creaking microphone. So first is "We Shall Overcome." Here we go. Ready? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart. We're coming to the place where we're going to do some candle lighting. Wayne, I think we could use a little bit of light, maybe the back lights. Yeah, I think that helps enough so people aren't going to stumble on their way down here. What we're going to do is we have sort of a two-part thing. Now, Stacy's in the back and she has a bowl of candles and she's going to give you each a candle while I'm explaining some of this. Mostly, you're going to light a candle. You're going to come up here to this little rainbow candle and light a candle. But I thought that it might be that we might have at least some of us that would like to receive communion tonight, just as a way of prayer and of accepting God's gift to us. So I wanted to let you know, especially if you're not a regular attender here, that our communion table is always open. You don't have to be a member of this church or any other church to partake of communion here, and you are welcome to do so. And I'm going to just do a couple of short prayers to prepare that for us. And then I'm going to ask you to come forward, and you can take communion or not, as you choose. I'm not requiring you to take communion. I'm just offering it in case you would like it. Some people find that that is a wonderful way to sort of breathe a cleansing sigh and restart things in their lives. So we have a loaf of bread and we have a cup of juice. It's grape juice, it's non-alcoholic. And if you want communion, you're going to break a piece of bread off of that and dip it into the juice for that. And while you're up here, you'll light your candle. If all you want to do is light your candle, you can do that as well. And then, if you want to go all the way back to your seats, you can. If you want to stay a little closer, you can, because we're going to be finishing up the service. And after communion, we're going to sing Amazing Grace. And I'll help you know the words to which verses we're doing, because I know it'll be hard to read. So you can go back and hold your candle and sing, or you can stay up closer and sing and feel each other's breath, so to speak. But for now, I'm going to prepare and pray and get our communion set for you, and then I'll invite you up, and I'll invite Stacy to come and help me with the cup when it's time. When it was the Passover, Jesus broke bread with his disciples. He took the bread and he gave it to them, saying, "Take, eat. This is my body, broken for you." After supper, he took the cup and he said, "Drink this cup. It is my blood of the new covenant. It is shed for you for the remission of sins. Every time you eat this bread and you drink this cup, remember me. Remember me." So I invite you now, as we all are in a spirit of prayer, as we all invite the Spirit of God to touch our lives, as we all invite love into our lives, to come forward, receive the bread and the cup if you wish, and take a light from this candle for your little candles. I think this one will last. And then you can return to your seats or return closer, and we will sing Amazing Grace together. Come, the table is ready. That's good. Some of you came a little closer. Thank you. As we finish our evening, we'll sing Amazing Grace. I know you heard it on the slideshow. We're going to sing 3 verses. The first verse that might be familiar to most of you, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. The second verse we're going to sing is the 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear. And then the last, when we've been there 10,000 years. It's getting a little better. The darker it gets outside, the better we see that. So, Sandy, if you would. There's a song that I just love. If your candles get too hot while the song plays, it takes 2 minutes. It's okay to blow them out. But this is called The Lord Bless You and Keep You. And it's a beautiful, beautiful song, but I knew we weren't going to have a giant choir here to sing it. So I have borrowed a recording of Westminster College's choir. This is our blessing. So now may you go And may the blessings and peace of God be with you. And may the love of each other touch your hearts. Amen.